Hello and welcome, my fellow consumers of YouTube content. This video is all about the installation for the Quadlock wireless charging kit. The other thing we're going to install is the waterproof 12 volt to USB, also from Quadlock. And then I already actually have the mount already installed, but I'll walk through how I installed that, and I will link to some information in the comments down below. So if you want to add that, that's a great place to start. You'll probably need that as a base. There are a couple of options. You can actually use your center punch in the triple clamp, or there are two options to mount a clamp to the handlebar, and we'll go over that soon. So, welcome to the video. If you are enjoying my channel, if you wouldn't mind just jumping over here and hit subscribe, I'd appreciate that, and we will get right into the video. Thank you very much. So I set up a new camera setup, and I hope this will work well, and you guys can let me know what you think. Hopefully it'll be a good setup. So first we need to reach down below here and pull the bolt for the seat. Once we get that off, we can lift the seat up, and then on mine I have the hammock, so I need to disconnect the heated controls on the seat. We're all set there, and then what we need to do is pull the bags. Actually, just the one bag. And the reason we pull the bag is so that we can get to the side cover, because anytime you do any kind of electrical work, what you need to do is pull the fuse. I've added extra LCD lights on the back of the bags, so that's the connector I have to disconnect when I pull the bag off. Okay. From there, all we need to do is pull the side cover. It's got little three rubber grommets that are easy to pull loose, and then you just have the three tabs there. That's the little grommet. And then if you want me to tell you about heated gear too, this is my cable for heated gear, and that's an accessory plug that turns on when the motorcycle is on. And then I run it to this. This is all gerbing equipment, and then it just plugs into this real easy plug on the outside of my fairing, so that I can just plug it right in, and I don't have to worry about these wires where they're at or where they're dangling or whatever. Alright, from here, we need to pull it. Wow, sorry folks, this is dirty. So you've got a 50 amp fuse. You're going to pull this 50 amp fuse. That will keep you out of trouble for doing any kind of damage to your bike electrically. From there, what we're going to need to do is take off this cover on top of the gas tank. Okay, in order to pull the tank, what we have to do is take the gas cap off. And then there is a 4mm little screw right here at the front. Then we have to loosen up. And we will take that off. Alright, once you pull the 4mm bolt, should be that one. Yep. You have a 10mm nut right here. Holds on the back of the tank. Okay. So you have a couple of options, and this is the wiring that comes with your 12 volt to USB from Quadlock. And what you'll notice is that there are a positive and a ground with a little fuse in there. So that's pretty straightforward and that's easy. And you can wire this straight to the positive and the negative of the battery. What I've done is I actually took it over to Harley, and I had them actually wire it into this side of the motorcycle so that it only comes on, and I know this is a mess, it only comes on here. I had them add this plug, and then I had them wire in the hot to the plug. And that way mine only comes on when I have the key on and I'm running the motorcycle. I have a 2017 and I had quite a bit of electrical issues with the bike, and so that's why I wired it that way. Most people will probably just wire it right in and not have to worry about that part of it. So that's, I would say you're probably perfectly good with just connecting it to the positive and the negative of the battery. For me, it was just something I felt like I needed to do to make sure that that wasn't my electrical issue when we were trying to diagnose my electrical problems. So anyway, moving on. So I took the switch and I wired it. So this runs over to the other side of the motorcycle where I have the accessory hooked up, and then this is just your power down to your switch. On these switches you've got an off, you've got an on, and then you've got an automatic, which automatically comes on and shuts off according to how many volts that you have on the motorcycle. So I have it just in the on position because mine is going to come on whenever I turn on the motorcycle. One of my favorite things that I've picked up along the ways when I was back building speaker boxes is Tessa tape, and you guys can get this on Amazon. Look that up. This I use that for most of my electrical connections now. What I like about it is electrical tape after a while just decomposes and falls apart, and if you ever make any changes, it's really nasty because the tape just gets everywhere. So what I've done is I've switched to test tape. A lot of the places like Car Toys and Drive-In Auto Sound probably use test. I'm guessing they probably use test tape right now, and I'm not really too worried about being waterproof. The only thing I'm worried about is the plug coming undone. So I'm going to run some tape over the top of it to ensure that I don't have any issues. To keep water out, what I've done, see, it looks similar to electrical tape, and it does a real nice job. What I've done to keep the water out is I've gone in and I put dielectric grease on all of my electrical components. So before I put this connector together, I ran dielectric grease through the holes so that when I put it together, I wouldn't have to worry about the connection. And that leaves us on the other side with your USB. The USB I'm going to run along the outside of the battery. And I've got the electrical fuel pump and that kind of electrical stuff. So I'm going to run that up alongside of the electrical fuel pump wire. And this is a little bit of a mess, but it will make sense once I get everything tucked away. And right now I just need enough cable. So what I've done is I pulled off the entire baffle, or the cover for the fuel tank. And the fuel tank cover, this is the plug for your overflow. The fuel tank cover has two little fingers here where you can kind of tuck all your wiring and your fuel line, or not fuel line, but your overflow line, your air line, into these hooks and kind of keep it out of the way when it's underneath, right, to keep it out, tucked out of the way. Okay, so from there, this is the other side of that plug, and then in the box, oh, there. Okay, here's your wireless charger. In the wireless charger box, they sent you a bunch of extra cables. Lots of choices. So, and these are all basically the same, they're just different lengths. Well, two of these are exactly the same with the new waterproof plug, which is real nice. So that's the new, so USB-C. So the USB they've done is they've designed a much better, instead of just plugging it straight in now, you've got grooves. So they've got little baffles here to keep it waterproof. So that'll be much better design than just plugging it in and kind of letting the water seep in around it. So they've changed a lot of the way this works. The new wireless system is much better. See, and then you've got this nice outer ring to help keep you waterproof. I don't want to push that in yet. And then when I do this, I'll make sure to put in dielectric grease in here and in here and around this plug when I put it together, so that we're pretty much watertight. So that'll be good. All right, so the question is, I don't need a long cable. Do I... and Quadlock supplies you with the bolt, so you're going to replace this bolt. And then they also send you with a good Allen wrench, so that you know, and that way you don't have to go fishing through your Allen wrenches. Mine is a little beat up. I'm hoping, yeah, good. This screw is a little worn out, so we're definitely going to be replacing this screw for sure. I'm taking it on and off a couple of times and tighten it down and beat it up, and so you can see that head is pretty shot, so we'll be throwing that away. Okay, and then that is the old unit. The old unit is good. I haven't had any problems with it. You see where the big difference between these two, let me set this down and I'll show it to you. The big difference is this has this nice outer edge. It keeps it a little more dry, if you will. So I think that'll work pretty good. Like I said, I haven't had any issues with this one. This one's been great, but I did want to opt for the one that I thought was quite a bit more waterproof. So I'm going to swap those out. And I figured since I was swapping everything out, I should make a video. Alright, so this next section is the stabilizer, and I added this about a year ago, and I think it does a nice job of keeping everything shock resistant, if you will. So, and it's a 360 direction, so no big deal there. And they provide you with all the screws and everything you need to take this apart and put it together and whatever. The original piece that I didn't talk about in the beginning of the video is just the clamp, and I did order Quadlock. So I originally had just this, just had this clamp, and these are 1 1/4 bars, KSTs I think, and then so these are upgraded aftermarket bars, and they're 1 1/4 inch. And then I didn't need any of the rubber trim pieces that come with it. So you just clamp this down, and you try to be even at the top here and at the bottom here. Try to make sure that you have the same amount of space so that you're clamped evenly. That will help keep it solid, and you won't have to worry about it twisting on you or whatever. So, and then I adjusted this for the angle that I wanted. And then I just added the stabilizer. So for a little while there was issues, I guess, with iPhones, or the cameras on the iPhones going bad because the vibration from motorcycles, I guess. I'm not sure about that one. I haven't had any issues with mine. I had a iPhone 10. And then my current phone is an iPhone 13 with the Pro Max, so it's got the 3 cameras on it. But the stabilizer is nice. I mean, it keeps you out of trouble. And I guess if you need it, you need it. If you don't, you don't. So the new one, and kind of hold this together a little bit, because without the bolt it's gonna come apart. I think there's like 3 pieces or 4 pieces to this thing, so you want to just kind of, you know, keep it together. There's little grooves here. It's got little notches, so you can actually angle it. It looks like we're gonna have to change the angle because I want, what I really want is this to be straight up and down. So we're gonna have to change the dampener. And we're just gonna change the angle of it. Yep, okay. And see, this all comes in. I mean, it'll fall apart on you if you're not careful with it. So and I've been happy with it pretty much straight up and down. So my only complaint, and it's not really a complaint, it's just a pet peeve, is that when I'm trying to put that phone on the charger, sometimes the anti-vibration kind of moves it around. If it was solid, it would be much easier to put on the charger. And I know that's a pretty little minimal complaint, but that's my only complaint about the Quadlock system. So I guess as far as complaints go, that's pretty minimal. All right. So we have to decide, and I think I kind of like the 360. No, that's going to come straight there and go down. All right. So let's stick with the question is the short one long enough? No. I would like the short one to be long enough. It's not. So, man, I'm just having a hard time today. Okay, so what I need to do is wire this one in. So I run it through the bottom here. So I just run it underneath this plastic piece and up through the middle here. And really all I'm worried about, or all I'm trying to not worry about is getting caught on something. So I'll run it behind the brake line here, and then up through. I added a zip tie. Okay, now that I've got it plugged in, I'm just going to snug this. Trim the zip tie. This cable runs along the handlebars there through the hole in the triple clamp cover, and then I just ran it along the brake line there and up to the top, where we just plug the wire in, mounted that nice. We still have our dampener, and then
From here, what we need to do is tuck in that extra wire. So there's our 2. Okay, now the other thing we need to do and thank you Quadlock for this. This is a little cap to help protect keep the water out. This just slides over the USB. But what we're going to do to help keep the water out is we're going to go back to our dielectric grease. I'm going to load that plug up with it. So there we go. Oh, the other direction. Okay. No, it is the other way. Okay, there we go. I'll just wipe off the excess real quick. Not too bad. And then you can slide this down and cover it up. There, just like that. Now, being the extra cautious person I am, I'm also going to tape it. I have, in the past, had a little water in this plug. My last plug had some rust in it, believe it or not. So, do what I can to plug this up. And yes, this is probably overkill. But I'm one of those people that believes that you gotta kind of one of those people that believes in building it right, building it heavy duty. All right, let's do it. So now we're gonna have a bunch of extra. So and the reason we've got so much is because I opted for both of the long cords, which is probably a little overkill, but that's all right. Better to have too much then not enough. And it's not going to matter too much because all this is going to be tucked underneath that. Okay, now that we have all the wiring tucked in, what we need to do is put it all back together. So and I was noticing that I was pulling on that a little bit, so no. Looks like we're gonna need some slack. So one of the things you want to check for is that you have some slack. Because you don't want to be pulling on that wire. Yeah, see, I've got it kind of tangled up here. Oop. And I'm going to pull too much. That's all right. Just have a little extra slack. Okay, if these come off, they just slide right back on that lip. Okay. Alright, now that we got plenty of slack, you'll see the slack there. Okay. Good. And the only thing I don't like maybe it is. Okay, we take our 10 mil. Snug our bolt back down.
Alrighty, my friends. Thanks for watching. This video was all about the installation for my 2017 Roadglide Custom. and that was the install on the Quadlock wireless charging system. So one of the things that I didn't mention in the video, and I don't really think anybody needs an instructional video for it, but I also connected the Quadlock wireless CarPlay adapter, and that just plugs in direct to the USB for the radio. So that's straightforward, and you shouldn't have any issues there. If you have any problems, feel free to leave a comment down below, and I'll be happy to make a video on it. So no problem there. I did want to just do a quick apology for this week's video. It was a little rough. So I'm working on trying to figure out how to film all of this stuff, and so I appreciate you guys bearing with me. The information is good, so hopefully everything worked out and you got something out of my video this week. I'm glad that it makes a difference for you. So next week, I'm going to dive into the best way to stay warm while it's cold outside. So, and if you're watching these videos on time, this is the end of November going into December, and bike riding has, to say the least, slowed down a little. So, oh, and then I wanted to also thank a subscriber for letting me know to remove my spare key for the motorcycle. So I took care of that too. So that should just about cover everything. I'm going to put some links down below for all of the Quadlock equipment that we put in today, installed today, plus the two that we didn't install today, which is the mounts for the motorcycles. I'll put those down in the comments as well. All of the links down below, or at least most of them, are affiliate links. And so I just want to let you know that there's no extra cost to you whatsoever, but they do help this channel. So I would appreciate it if you wouldn't mind using my links to pick up all that cool swag. So if you need anything from me, feel free to leave a comment down below, and I'll be happy to respond to it. And that, folks, is all for this week. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.